Welcome to the Loveland Report and Loan Arranger Show. I am Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate planner, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger. And we are going to give you all your real estate and all your mortgage news. Thanks for tuning in as we recap inventory. Where are the rates at? What's going on in this market? Is the Sleepy Joe hangover over? Are we going to start seeing a tightening of inventory? Are prices going to rise faster? Even though we've got Sleepy Joe hangover and inflation, Bruce, prices are still rising slowly.
Well, they are, but there's some areas have dropped as well.
Yep. So it depends on your supply. Your market is, everybody asks me, how's the market doing? I'm like, which market? You know, your
market is always perfect.
It is. Yeah, exactly. But I want to talk about summer selling and inventory around the country. The right lender, picking the right lender up front, Bruce. I got some
that's a good one.
I got some bad stories that just these people, I'm like, save yourself some trouble, call Bruce. And then the best upgrades to your home. What returns the most dollars when you're working on your house? So what do you got for us this week?
Well, first of all, I want to talk about what's going on with interest rates, where the opportunities are, who's buying in this market, and what strategies can you take to be able to take advantage of a market like this. So I like the idea that you want to talk about how to choose the right lender, because it would be a different perspective and it'd be different message from me than it would be from you. So you, as a real estate agent, knowing what a good lender's like and what a not so good lender's like is you have a different take than what a customer might think. So if I ask a customer, what's the most important thing you get from a good lender?
Rate.
All they're going to do is say rate.
Yep.
That's all they're ever going to say is rate, rate, rate. Okay. But that's not really the case, because they think that's what it is until they don't get service. Everybody wants price until they don't have service.
And right product though, because some people, they might see online what do you call it, a clickbait, a bait and switch rate of, oh my gosh, I think I can get 6.25,
right?
Which you and I know is impossible unless it's a 15-year. And then by the time they get to closing, the rate that shows up on their mortgage docs is 7.125.
Well, here's the reality of it, folks, because if this was a sales presentation or a sales advertisement from me right now, I would probably be telling you that my rates are the best rates in town. The fact of the matter is because I'm a national lender, because we're the largest lender, our rates are extremely attractive. But there's no one getting rates any better than someone else, unless you're a broker.
They're all getting their money from the same
there's
place.
All kinds of middlemen in there that are picking it apart. But what the mortgage-backed securities are, the mortgage-backed securities. The only difference is what the profit margin is that particular lender may want or charge. But in this market, there is very little profit margin for lenders right now. The profit margin that we used to make back even 5 years ago was almost double what it is today. So I see that lenders are very competitive. If you think you've got a much better rate one place than another, then there's a trick. There is something that you're going to get a surprise. And here's the thing. No, most lenders don't ever drive you to a competitor to look at their pricing. That would be counterintuitive to a smart sales presentation. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
But if you go to Rocket Mortgage and you check their prices out, everyone should be pretty close to where Rocket Mortgage is. Look at and check me out. Matter of fact, when I'm pricing a loan with my client, I will oftentimes bring them to the Rocket Mortgage site and say, here's where Rocket Mortgage is today.
Yeah.
Now, Rocket Mortgage is the largest lender in the country. They're bigger than Cross Country only by terms of volume that they do. But their pricing isn't better than ours because they're spending millions of dollars per month in advertisement. So you're paying for that somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and the NASCAR team.
And that's only. And so when you look at my price, it's going to be a little bit better than theirs. Not a lot, a little bit better.
But I would say the main thing that I see from my side is, I know they want the right, that everybody wants to, I want a better rate, but you're the one that's going to help them get that by fixing credit, by getting them in the right product, by saying, no, don't go conventional right now. FHA rates are better. Save that money.
Or you can get more from the seller with an FHA
Get closing costs done.
But I want to go back to, what's your perspective on a good lender? Like what is important that the client does not understand that you see behind the scenes?
You are like the best advisor on what product to use and how to get the best rate, because I don't care what anybody else says. I just had somebody the other day through a realtor. The guy called me trying to get my business. And this doesn't happen too often, but I was proud of him for doing it. But he was with a bank. And I said, all right. I said, my main thing is that you get an application in and you get it closed. And I want to know it's going to close. And most of my closings for buyers are 3 to 7 weeks.
Realtors typically don't like banks. They don't like their clients.
This guy thought he was special. So that's why I said, I know you can't do what you're saying you can do. You need to call Bruce and interview for a job.
Right.
So, but I think the most important thing they need to look at is once you've seen their whole picture, because it's impossible. Like, Bruce, you've got my tax returns and you can tell me what's the best rate. Like, I'm buying some rentals.
I can tell you how to structure them.
And you can tell me how to structure it. Should I put a bunch down or should I go DSCR?
So number one, you are saying a good trusted advisor to guide the client.
Yep.
Number two, what's the next
thing?
Get
it closed.
Get it closed.
When you say it will happen.
Okay. What about how often do you think that loan officers lie or mislead you to a client they're telling you is approved that's really not approved?
Well, I would say they don't lie. I would say they don't return the call because they don't have any good news or they don't know when you're going to close.
Okay, so they don't. So avoidance.
Yes, it's a good word. Yes, that's a perfect word. Yes.
So, but the client doesn't understand that, right? They don't understand it. The client, and oftentimes, and I'm going to say this to you guys listening out there right now, most of the time, it's the client that hurts themselves.
Yeah.
The client dilly-dallies on getting me documents, or the client misleads me on documents. We had one recently. The guy swore he was had a green card. Well, he had a green card. What he didn't tell everybody is it was expired. Okay. And so
you find that stuff out.
I'm trying to get a copy of this thing and I'm getting the runaround for every excuse as to why they can't get it to me, only to find out that it expired. And now he was on a student visa that doesn't allow you to work. And yet I need his income from his work. So anyway, the client was their own, and oftentimes is their own worst enemy.
Yeah.
I will tell you, with my business, when you call me to do a mortgage, be 100% honest with me about everything and tell me everything.
Well, that's why you need all the paperwork.
That I don't want to know, I'll go, hey, Cleve, you know what? Let's just tuck this in the back. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to know that you're making your daughter's car payment or your daughter's. I don't want to know what I don't want to know this. And I'll tell you. Now, we're not going to commit fraud. We're not going to omit important information that would put us in compromise. But that's what you don't get when you go to a bank, because those bank tellers take down and write down all the stuff you tell them. And the client is telling the loan officer things that hurt them rather than help them. And with me, I can go, hold on, hang on. Whoa, we're going to
know exactly what they need. Now, where are we with rates this week? How are they doing?
Man. So, well, we started off a little rough. Last week, we had Thursday and Friday were really good days on the market. It ended up down on Friday, but it was way up from earlier in the week. This week, we got Trump's working out stuff with the Chinese. That looks like it's going well. I was concerned that the stock market would rally and tank the bonds, but bonds did very, very well this week. And I see interest rates have improved a little bit. Now, are we where we need to be? No.
Are we still high? We still high sixes?
Yeah, we're still in the high sixes. Okay. Yeah, your average rate right now is running in the high sixes, 6.89.
Well, I want to talk about summer selling because we still don't have any great news. Things are slowly happening with this new administration.
And we need to give out our phone numbers. We've been jabbering on for 9.5 minutes. So the Loan Arranger, you can reach me now at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or go to webringyouhome.com. You can apply there, or we can take the application in person. Cleve, Loveland, how can you be reached?
407-352-8118 for me or one of my team if you need to buy, sell, or you need your investment property managed. But I want to jump into summer selling, Bruce, because right now around the country, inventory is growing.
It is.
Now, our Central Florida inventory is holding steady.
Yes.
We
actually dropped a little bit.
We did. We're a 5-month supply, and I'll have numbers hopefully for next week's show. They should come out this week unless the Russians hack the board of realtors again, and because like that one blip we had in
You
April.
can't say that because
Well,
we don't know that.
They didn't give us any March numbers. What happened there?
don't know.
Who dropped the ball? Somebody, the guys in IT, somebody dropped the
Gonna
ball
get a
there.
call from
Check.
Aura. Going,
They
you
can
guys
call me.
can't say
They never
that.
returned the 5 calls I left them saying, hey, what's up with our stats? Anyway, so I'll have those numbers. But what's funny, Bruce, is rates come down. We will shift so quickly back to a 2 or 3 month supply. That could happen like within 2 months. And you could be back into more multiple offer situations. Now I'm getting multiple offers, but that's the hot, very nice house in a localized market that, there's nothing around. I just had one at 750 and it was the only thing around. All the neighbors were asking 850, should have been 799. We went on at 749. I sold above list price. So with multiple offers, but
that's the strategy you get with Cleve Loveland.
Yep.
But if you met with some clients, they'd go, why are you going to list me under value instead of at value?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to get people bidding. It's actually a smart strategy to use.
And it is. And these sellers had their other house, had a $3,500 a month nut to carry this house. They were done with it. Other house is set. They realize the time, cost, and money. When they sell their home, they're going to have a big chunk, going to recast their loan on the new one. So all these things come into play. But when some markets I go into, what you got to look at is, okay, let's say you're in Volusia County at 330,000. You got to look around for a couple miles and you might have 50, 60 competitors. And you might need to go at 328.9 instead of 329.9 because there's 10 people at 329.9. So that's what's important about having a realtor. Plus, Bruce, this is the one thing I do. I'll list people that were listed before for a couple months and didn't sell, unfortunately. I'll help them. And I say, look, I'm going to come visit you. I'm going to talk to you every week. I'm going to give you an update. They're like, whoa. And then I say, and after about the second or third week, we're going to sit down and I can show you which of your neighbors sold. Plus we know how many realtors came through your front door. We can kind of get some feedback and see if we need to fix the purple bedroom. Mm-hmm. You need to chop down the dead tree out front, all these things, and tells me how you're doing.
Well, when people see minor defects in the property, they think that there's other things wrong, right?
That, and it just, I'd say that's why I come out and I got a 50-point staging checklist, and I can tell people the best upgrades to do their property. Usually we're spending 1 or 2% of the price to fix some things up. And rarely I don't ever have somebody remodeling an entire home. So we're going to dig into getting the right.
Hey, we got a class coming up too.
We do, June 18th, this Wednesday coming up, and 6:30 Ale House.
Yes.
WeBringYouHome.com to register. I think it's
so. This class is designed to help people understand how to develop a portfolio of real estate. So you could be a first-time home buyer, but this is not going to be talking about first-time home buyers. This is talking about how to build a portfolio of real estate, which type of properties to buy, how to purchase them, how to negotiate them, how to manage them, how to keep good tenants, how to be a good landlord,
how to move on to your next one,
and how to have them all paid off in 20 years. So when you retire, you have 5 to 10 properties, all free and clear, making you so much money in retirement that you won't be able to spend it all. You have to get me to help you spend it. So that would be register at WeBringYouHome.com.
They could just buy a boat. They could buy a
right
boat.
now. Seats are limited. It's not a big place. Listen, you don't have to spend $2,500 on a seminar to learn how to do this stuff. You're going to get 2 goobers that are experts at doing this. We've already made mistakes and we've already had our successes.
But we've made millions.
And we have.
And
we're going to share it
helps
with you
our net worth.
on how you can do it. And they don't have to buy anything from us. We don't even have anything to sell you. We just want to help you learn how to do it the right way.
Yep.
407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com for the loan arranger. And Cleve Loveland.
I'm at 407-352-811. When we get back, we'll talk about the best upgrades to your house and maybe do a couple listings.
Absolutely. Stay with us. We'll be back in 5.